Well, hello there, you little weirdos. It's another episode of the Stormchaser Improv podcast. This is Andrew Pish speaking. I'm joined here with Anatasha Blakely and Travis Cox.
What's going on?
I like the idea of having your voice in my ear calling me a little weirdo later.
What's going on, you little weirdos? I know. I'm really excited.
That does something for me. Yeah.
I'm glad it does. Well, I just have such a warm feeling in my body right now because we had the most wonderful conversation interviewing Shaun Landry, the new CEO of the Ledge Theater here in Los Angeles, a space for diverse voices to find a home and improvise in our city.
Anyone who doesn't know Shaun is one of those people who has just been like a driving force and a prominent figure in the improv world. I mean, for literally like 40 years. I mean, she's just someone who really breathes improv, I feel like the same way we aspire to. She started in Chicago. She started her an old sketch group called OBN. She has worked with Second City. She's taught at the IO. She's taught at the PAC. She's been on, countless numbers of improv teams. And now, like Pish said, she started the Ledge Theater here in LA, which is the first Black-owned improv theater in Los Angeles. Just so cool.
And she's in love with her improv sweetheart and has been playing with him for so long that I feel so inspired. Jacob and I are going to be improv sweethearts forever.
And you'll be playing together in 50 years, just being big old improv nerds the same way you are today.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to a house party with her and have her feed me and to be her improv child.
I know we're going to get into talking about it, but before we get too far, just so you can find her easy, hit her up on the Instagram at Shaun Landry 1. It's just Shaun with SHAUN. And also follow the Ledge Theater. That's Ledge_theater. Theater with an R-E because it's bougie.
Yeah, and it just feels really nice having someone like this creating a space for people to improvise in Los Angeles because improv is a beautiful art form and you can tell that she takes it seriously. And you can also tell the love that she has for people and improvisers and the community that she hopes to create. I hope you all have a wonderful time listening to our interview with Shaun Landry.
You're listening to the Stormchaser Improv Podcast Show.
There she is.
There I am.
Hello.
Hey.
Guys.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, guys. It's been a while for a couple of y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, no problem. No problem. I just have to have Hans stop snoring over here. He is literally snoring.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Yeah, some of my favorite moments of living with him is literally recording him in bed. Because one day I'm gonna bribe this motherfucker. One day it's gonna happen. It's like, this would be outside of improvisation. This is what my husband sounded like snoring.
Yeah, you always got to be collecting content on the people you love the most, for sure.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, content, like him accidentally in the shower, because I'm that kind of asshole.
I just saw one of my friends, they have like a Ring camera out on their driveway, and apparently her husband sleepwalked out to the car to get something completely naked, and he has no memory of it, but he's caught on this camera outside in the middle of night trying to get something from his car. And I'm like, that's top shelf.
Was that here in LA?
No, that was in Utah somewhere.
Oh, well, then no one cares.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah.
It's Utah.
I'm going to Chicago for the first time.
Oh, really?
Next week. Yeah. What's your favorite thing that I should do?
Oh my God, everything. First off, if you like deep dish, the best place is Giordano's. The best places in Chicago, everywhere.
Pizza, pizza, it's Gino's East.
Yeah, Gino's East or Giordano's. And then the north side.
If you want real Chicago sandwiches, you go to Clark Street Dog.
Yeah, if you want real Chicago sandwiches, as he just said, Chicago sandwiches. Every once in a while when we're drunk, we just drop, we drop everything, the Oz Chicago, the A's become Oz.
You get your double beef sandwiches there. And you get
Okay, Hans, this is about me.
It's about
Well, at least he's not
sandwiches
snoring
now.
anymore,
It's
right?
about sandwiches. No, he's not snoring. Now he's taking over. He's taking over this. Then there's the very, very shiny Second City.
Yeah, it's interesting because I probably will go see the Second City, but I also maybe I gotta go get what did you say? It's a Clark
Street Dog.
Clark
but that's
Street
actually
Dog.
But you're talking about if you go to Clark Street Dog and then you take the Clark Street bus up, you'll get to Second City. It's all on the north side.
Well, if there's the old IO stomping grounds, then I'm like, I might have to just go walk around there and feel everyone's old presence.
Yes, the oldness of that presence is very lush. But if you're talking about going to someplace really cool, go to Boys Town, as the Chicagoans call it. Go to Annoyance. You'll see Mick behind the bar. Because that's what he does. That's the thing that he loves the most. Basically, hanging out with the boys and pouring drinks, and just you'll see a drag show in the front. Then Susan's back there doing whatever Susan does, and Susan and Rachel. But yeah, the men in town at this point is the Annoyance Theater. Because wait, hold on for 1 second. Hans, please.
6 blocks away from Illinois.
Yes, I know it is. Thank you. Plug back in and start snoring.
Hold on. Since we've heard from Hans a couple times, can I just ask you to tell the story of how you two met? I heard it on a different podcast, and I was like, "No way, that's real."
Yeah, so it is. I can. Would you like me to try to do it verbatim from the podcast that I did it on?
It could be fresh, just a new version. I just think it's
okay.
so fun.
Okay.
Yeah. All
right. So I auditioned for his improv ensemble, the Underground Theater Conspiracy. No, Foogle Woogle. It's a name that means nothing, because at that point everybody had like a wacky name, like Contents Under Pressure, All You Can Eat in the Temple of Doom. Seriously, these were the names of. I mean, it's the 80s, right? So I believe Odenkirk was in Temple of Doom at that point. Mm-hmm. So I was looking in the reader. I was in Geese Theater Company, and I didn't want to work in prisons anymore. I'm like, my name drops are pretty, hard. Like Manson, Speck, Geen, all the guys who are going to get me on Netflix. So anywho, anywhoozy doozy. I get onto the reader, and I see, looking for improv actors. And I've done improv, but only in a drama therapy sense. And I go to the Players Workshop at the Second City, and I see Hans. And Hans, at this point, this is, again, the 80s. He ran a comic book store. We have we are comic book people. And he is wearing a V for Vendetta t-shirt because it had just come out.
Whoa.
And he had cut off the sleeves. And he had on
guns out.
Mm-hmm. Like old school, like, Top Gun, cut the sleeve shirt off shit.
So dreamy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The thing was, I thought he was, I'll get to that because you've heard this. He's wearing cuffs, the running cuffs, black. He has on black kicker boots, black jeans. His name is Hans. His hair is buzz cut short. And I look at him and I say, wow. He's an Illinois Nazi. Meanwhile, he's looking at me and doesn't want to have anything to do with my black ass. He wanted to hire some woman who wanted to, quote unquote, peel paint off the wall. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what this means. I'm like, I guess she's hot. I guess, she's some kind of like paint thinner walking person. I don't know. So anyway, he got completely outvoted because, I know how to act, and I know how to do improv, and I know how to do characters. So Tyrone Finch, who used to work for 21 Jump Street, hired me. He was the director of Foogle Woogle. and the first African-American improv director at that point. And he was like, no one has seen anyone Black before. And I got into the company, and they had their last show at Barrett Hall in Chicago. And he looked less like a Nazi and more like a member of Duran Duran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh no, say a prayer for me now. Save it to the morning after. Oh no, say a prayer for me now. He's sick. Oh my God. And the leak, he literally has cancer right now. One of the guys from Duran Duran, but he looked like, yeah, he has stage 4. And I'm just like, the older you get, the more your idols pass away. But Hans, like, he had, like, his hair was not moussed up. He had on an Italian thin tie, he had a really nice suit. I hadn't gotten late in 6 months. I'm like, I'm taking him home. And
I love it.
And it was a one-night stand that has lasted now since pretty much 1986.
That's so great.
We got married Valentine's Day of 91.
Wow.
I love it. And y'all
Congratulations
together, right?
And that's how we met.
Yeah.
We met improvising and doing sketch and doing improv. Ergo ipso facto, which is my new thing I love to say now. Ergo ipso facto, improv relationships do work.
Well, Tasha just married her improv sweetheart.
Yeah. I think that improv relationships totally work, only because I've had many examples in, friendships of people that you're like, wow, our other teammate Jesse married his improv sweetheart too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so sweet.
It's a whole different thing. Am I right, Miss A? I swear to God, because back in the day, everybody was too afraid to even get close to anyone. And it was always, it's like, whatever stays at an improv festival, what happens at an improv festival stays at an improv festival. I was already with Hans, so I saw people just struggling and acting crazy. And then, of course, the whole handsy business all through the 90s, the weird, there just a ton of creeps.
Really?
You could always tell too. You could always tell the creeps because they were always, like professional alcoholics who are really good at improvisation, who are just plain handsy. One improviser told me the only reason he got into improv was to get laid. I'm like, you have gotten into the wrong part of theater, sir. There's not enough women here and the few, it's like being very cautious and very guided. That's why back in the day, me and people like Messing, we played like men, really tough, really hard. And that was protection both on and off stage. There was also the other extra layer for me too, back in the 90s, which was, even though I was a woman, I'm African American. So not only did you have handsy guys, you also had racist guys too. I'm like, it's like We Be Negroes at one point were called the Dog and Pony Show. I'm just like, wow.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I swear to God, it was so different. So when I do improv now, especially at the Ledge, and the reason why is it's so different. It's still funny. But it also has meaning to it. It's just, I used to call these cats in the 90s edge boys. I'm like, oh, look at you. You're so edgy. Look at you. Let me see how impressed I am. Let me think. No. I'm like, you don't know me. I'm like, you ain't edgy. You just sad and drunk.
Oh, man.
Get some water and think about what you have done, both on and off stage.
Okay, I feel like that's an interesting thing to hear about the 90s, because like even the generation coming into improv and then kind of the generation that I was learning with, I feel like there was a big shift in drinking before a show, like, and even how it was seen to drink before a show, because I would never, I think I tried once because so many like older people did, where I was like, I'm going to try a little bit of wine before a show.
And the thing is, I still do. I will have a glass of wine.
Yeah. So and it's interesting that like, I'm like, that's not like really a habit of mine, but I think that that's something that maybe was abused. And then sometimes people do it, but like
extraordinarily abused. Basically, you have a drink. I saw things. I've seen things that my poor eyes. I've seen things where you start off, you go over to say, like Second City in Chicago, and you go over to Orsi's, the bar that it used to be called when I was there. It's changed a million hands, but it used to be called Orsi's. You go across the street, you have a drink. Generally, a glass of wine. Then you go next door, and then you go upstairs, and then you go and have a drink at the bar, a beer, maybe. Then you go in the back, and then someone has beer, and then you have another beer. So by the time you're on stage, you're tipsy.
Yeah. Well, I would be fucked up.
Yeah. Well, you see, Miss A, this is a podcast. I'm showing everybody my leg. That one's hollow. So the alcohol pours through the system and into the leg. So basically I walk out with a very squishy leg filled with, back in the day, gin and tonics. And then you go across the street and then you drink some more. And then you talk, you do your bits. And then you go to the other bar that's, across the way from Second City, where supposedly the ghost of Martin DeMott was there, where he used to play pinball when he died. And everyone drink until all hours of the night. Close the place up, tumble out, grab a cab, go home, put a bucket next to your bed, because the world starts spinning in bed, and then pray that you don't vomit in the middle of the night or do a Jimi Hendrix. And, and then you wake up and go, oh, great, I feel like crap. You eat some eggs, you go and get some more liquid, then you head back to Second City. Rinse, repeat. A lot of people became literally functioning alcoholics back then.
I mean, a lot of the improv theaters have been connected to bars, even as we were saying with the Annoyance. And I feel like at iOS there was a lot of that going on, but we were just like of a slightly younger generation. A slightly younger generation with people my generation teaching you. Right. Yeah. Right. I don't know if any of you cats have seen it, but guess who's coming to dinner with Sidney Poitier. It's an interracial thing, but Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. The monologue that he does, Travis, where it's, until the weight of your generation gets off your back, until the weight of my generation. I'm 57 years old. I'm 3 from 60. I look great.
You look great.
Thank you. And then, wait, hold up, Tiger. Travis, how old are you?
I am 37.
No, see, I wouldn't have tried that hard. Miss A, how old are you?
I am 34.
Okay, you're roughly rolling around where I could have had you as a daughter. People ask me why I look so young. And I go, how old are you? Sometimes they go 30, 25. I go, you know why I look young? I didn't have you.
You gotta stay young. You keep your youth.
I learned that it's easier. I have improv children, you see. I can talk about my experiences, pass a little knowledge on, feed you, and then you can go home to your real parents.
I love it.
That's the way I figure it. So yeah, and plus also I have a child who snores and interrupts me.
But he looks like Duran Duran though. So
yeah, that's true.
Right now
he's looking like an old, a thinner George Lucas without the money.
as long as he doesn't go back to looking like a Nazi, we should be fine.
His mom was a Nazi. An actual, honest to God, met Hitler twice Nazi. Boy, was she surprised to see me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
wow.
disowned Hans for a week and then called him up and said, Hansi, why haven't you called me? It's like, well, the object is to not talk to each other. I was only kidding. Then she ruined Thanksgivings for us. Oh my God.
Forever? Or
Yeah, well, at least until she died. Yeah.
oh.
And she died on it. I wrote a book called Lesbian Dancing After the Show, An Improviser's Non-Improvised Life. I have a chapter that says why mother-in-law jokes exist. So it goes through everything I went through with her, and then there would be mother-in-law jokes in between each story. Mostly by Shecky Green. So yeah, I think the Doors has said it best. This is the strangest life I've ever known.
Wow.
So, and I'm, my improv life has been with Hans.
Yeah.
We actually just did a show Friday where we weren't planning on doing a show. We ended up wanting to just run the theater because that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to perform when I do the Ledge. I need other people to perform and be part of this community and be diverse and be awesome. That's if I ever become, and I'll say it out loud on your podcast, if I ever become the Black Sharna Halpern, kill me.
You got it.
Just walk up to me. Just walk up to me and just don't even announce that you're going to kill me. Just say, you know what this is about.
What you did.
Well, just to be clear, what exactly do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that being the Black Shauna Helper?
Yeah, what's the fear? Like, what's the behavior that would make you feel like you're there?
The fear is micromanaging. The fear is thinking that there's only one thing that's only good and that's it. Only following one guru because I don't believe in gurus. Not paying people. Having a real business model. And that's why we're non-for-profit. I literally just got finished talking to my lovely Jeffrey Thompson. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. This is not in my head. Who doesn't love Jeff, right?
He's so great.
Jeffrey Thompson. I call what I call him though. I call him Q-tip head because he got the prettiest hair I've ever seen. I mean, that's why it's called hair.
Sweet man.
Yeah. It's gorgeous, and he can play. He's a musician, and he right brain, left brain thinking. He literally got a hold of it. Was like, hey, Shaun, what we make in 2021? I'm like, brother, we weren't open in 21 yet. I'm like, but I can go and give you everything from February. This is everything I've been dealing with today. I tried to keep myself out of it and just pass stuff off to the board. I'm like, Jeff, I don't want to do taxes for the Ledge. You tell me how much as a board member, you go for it. He's the one who made us nonprofit.
Wow.
He did all that. He did the full form. Jeff did the full form. My board is fire. My board is fire. And the thing is, if I ever become Shauna would not let anybody run anything.
Well, just right off the bat, I don't think you have to. I mean, it's good that you have that awareness, but the things you've said about you have improv kids and you treat the community as like family, and you've got this really collaborative thing. Your whole essence, your whole project, everything about the Ledge Theater and who you are is just warm. And I don't know.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be joyous, isn't it?
I don't know if Sharna's ever been described as warm. So
no,
I think
I clay at the most, unless you're molding the clay, it might get a little warm.
Guys, watch Sharna listen to this and send us an angry letter.
I know.
What is she? Me and Sharna, it's like she'll just go, oh, it's Shaun anyway. I'm not even. Don't even sweat that. If she sends you an angry letter, you send it to me. And then I'll look at it, go, I'll look at it again, go, Then I'll go, rip. Then I'll go,
well,
the world is better again.
Let's use this as an opportunity to segue into the Ledge Theater and talk about it a little more specifically. For anyone who isn't aware, the Ledge Theater is a new theater company / cause that you've spearheaded here.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great thing that's happening, and I'm really just impressed that you're doing it. I'm also a little bit confused why when all these theaters are closing, you're like, let's start a new one.
Because I'm insane.
But it's so great, and there's a much needed space to be filled, and I'm glad you're feeling it. So please, the floor is yours.
Well, here's the thing. When Acme closed, that's how it all started. We were doing shows. Armando was there with, the old IO crew. And I believe, I cannot remember his name, who was running it. Josh, I believe.
Yes.
Ended
Josh
up.
Spence.
Yeah, Josh Spence ended up walking to the space. He had cleared it out in the middle of the night.
Whoa.
And I swear to God, I literally posted on Facebook. I said, so I ended up getting on the realtors, to go and look at that space to see how much it was. And I found out how much it was. And I got on to Facebook and very jokingly said, so Acme's gone. Who would like to give me $400,000 to start a theater, to buy the space? And then everyone said, you should do it. And I said, I'm old enough. I know enough about how to produce and run a business. I've done it before. So on a bet on Facebook, I said, if I'm going to do this, it needs to be diverse. It needs to be diverse. All of our voices, all equal parts of everyone, and not just African American. I mean, everyone. People of color, of Asian influence, of African influence, religious, LGBTQIA+, my disabled community. I want everyone. I will build ADR ramps in the space that we're currently in to get people on stage. I want it diverse. I also want different styles of improvisation, because the thing that I've noticed with most improvisational theaters is we have to be this. We have to be Harold. We have to be edgy. We have to be X. We can't have short form. We only can have long form. I don't want short form. I don't want long form. That's not, I want improv and sketch, or improv to sketch, because that's where I come from. What we do is theater. If you guys come in, I know that we've been trained to call yourself a team. When you come to the ledge, Stormchaser is an ensemble.
I love
because goddamn it, I'm bringing bougie back. I'm bringing bougie back.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers don't know how to act.
This is amazing, because but after the pandemic, we were talking about doing a show, and I think we agreed on the fact that if we were going to do a show, it wasn't going to feel like the lackadaisical improv culture
Get up on
that had
stage
really
with
taken
a
root.
beer and throwing chairs kind of improvisation.
Yeah, showing up late, not treating it as a theatrical experience.
Yeah, I have a thing about time, by the way.
Yeah.
I will literally judge an ensemble by how many people are at the show by call. Our show's at 8. Your call is at 7:30. If the entire ensemble is there at 7:30, then I can trust you. Without saying their names, not that long ago at the Ledge, ensemble showed up literally during the show, members during the show. I was not there for the show. I was briefed on that. And I said, nope. Once bitten, once bitten. Nope. I can't trust you. You might be the most amazing ensemble in the universe, but I can't trust you to be on time. The audience is here. Why aren't you? What's up? What's wrong with what's wrong with that? It's not taking. We do wacky make 'em ups, but we need to take our wacky make 'em ups just a little bit seriously, just a touch, to at least show up on time and maybe, I don't know, take a shower before the show.
Yeah. Yeah, we're taking people's time and we're taking people's money to come see this show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm charging $15 with 1 million discounted tickets all over the place. But you know what? My audience, when people go, I couldn't traffic. The moment someone says traffic to me in Los Angeles, the first thing I say is, how long have you been living here? An hour? You know good and well, if you're coming from North Hollywood into Hollywood, you probably want to, and your call is at 7:30, brother man, take it from me. You probably want to leave at 5. And then the fine parking, especially around Heliotrope. And also that's also the same with the Pack too. If your show's at the Pack Theater, you better pray on a stack of Bibles that you're going to find something down one of these side streets. It's
That's
just
so true.
It's just one of those things.
We're talking about so much of improv, like across the country. Really, like I felt like a bubble burst.
Yeah.
Almost like people got tired of running these theaters and trying to make them work. Do you have any? I'm sure you thought about this to death. What do you think went wrong with some of those theaters? And
First off, Me Too really did not help at all. Because people did not know how to have a business plan with real management to go and deal with the handsy creeps who have been around improvisational theater for decades. So the leaders are being called out. That was the big one. Second one, just bad business planning. Look, you can't run a theater by letting everyone come in and say, oh, the bar will take care of everything. The bar has always been the toggle piece of a business plan in improv theater. It's like, and what makes it even worse is, let's not even tell the general masses that this bar exists. Let's just go and get all of our improvisers drunk and make them pay for booze.
Wow.
So let's see. Basically most improv theaters have been a Ponzi scheme. To be honest with you, let's see. Booze and classes. Booze and classes, not art. Booze and classes. The person who can basically, I don't want to be, literally said when this place closed here in Los Angeles, I don't run a theater, I run a restaurant. I run a bar restaurant. The theater was just, the extra toggle piece. Maybe some people
First
paid.
off, where's the food? Second, this is when you're like, it makes improv feel like a cult.
But that's the thing. Don't you realize the food was in Chicago?
I see.
In the multi-million-dollar plex that's now an open space that they're planning to reopen again, supposedly. I don't know when. That's the problem. It's the strong business plan. So when I decided to do
I think it opens next week.
I think so too. But under brand new management, hopefully, and Godspeed. And Godspeed, fingers crossed, I will never. The more theater, the better. The more theater, the better. So if IO Chicago opens up under new management and does it right this time, that would be great. I'm hoping. It's run by venture capitalists like the other space. But you know what? They got money to make it better. They'll maybe have real HR. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's not a glorified bar that just happens to have a rinky-dink theater inside of it. I hope they actually care about the actors and the performers and the staff. And that's the same thing here. And the thing is, Chicago is just as expensive as here, actually a little less. But yeah, I did the due diligence a couple of days ago. A good example is I ended up raising, because I'm always on the raising money tip at this point, because we're a nonprofit. So it's the California Arts Council, it's the National Endowment of the Arts Council, City Council here, all through Hollywood, talking to them about finding space. And there's a lot of them. The problem is they expensive AF. I found out that Second City, the old space in Hollywood that is now completely gutted out as I saw the pictures. Guess how much that is a month?
Ooh, $10,000.
Go up higher.
No.
20,000?
Go up higher.
No.
Stop it.
I
Not
can't
kidding.
do it.
26.
For the
26,
second
almost
city
27.
space?
For the second
month?
city space, a month. So you're talking about a 5-year lease is roughly about 1.7.
Whoa.
And y'all been in that space. You got to carry people in a wheelchair up the stairs. There is
Up like 300 stairs.
Yeah, you have to carry me up the stairs. Just like, and good luck with that. So yeah, and there's little parking over there too. I mean, you can find a little easier, but still, yeah, 1.7.
Wow.
Absolutely out of control. So it's harder to, when you are looking at that, particular idea of a space. That's why the complex is so vital, because you can rent that space out for less money at either the top on the second floor, or the Ruby, or the Dory, which is where the Black Church now is. It's great. It's great going and teaching classes on Sundays.
That's
and literally
so fun.
From 8 to like 10 o'clock, I get there early and the floor is still bouncing from Baptist music. I'm like, yeah, that's an accidental church.
Are there other improv theaters that are nonprofits that you know of?
Let me think. Actually, there's a couple. I know Angel City Improv. City of Angels is nonprofit. And they actually have hooked themselves with a theater company that's been around, the longest non-for-profit theater in Los Angeles. So they're nonprofit. And there's I know there's a couple in Detroit. I know there's several in Hawaii. So there's a lot of, outside of Los Angeles, there's a lot of non-for-profit theaters that also do improvisational comedy and improvisational theater. So I think what shies a lot of people away from a nonprofit status is not even the fact that you are, it's literally PBS. You're always asking for money. When I ran a for-profit improv ensemble, I was the workhorse. I was one who basically did classes to go and fund the theater. So pretty much the same kind of way the PAC has been too. The PAC is very communistic, and I love it. It's just like, pay what you must.
Can I ask a bigger picture question of, because it's like you're talking about all this stuff you have to get to just record improv. It's like all the things they didn't tell us we would have to do when we signed up to be doing this thing that we love to do.
Yeah. And
all of the things that you're having to do to create this space for a diverse set of voices in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Why is this important to you?
Why is this important to me? Because I think improvisational theater is an art form. I think it's an art form. I think it's vital theater. And keep in mind, I worked in prisons doing improvisation. It's also a great learning tool. It's an amazing for drama therapy. If you're doing that, musical theater, physical theater, improvisational storytelling, it's all theater to me. And for kids specifically, because I want to start my youth in, my arts and educational programming. This is just for me, Andrew. For me, if it wasn't for improvisational theater, I wouldn't know where I would be. I don't know where I would be. I'd probably be doing fine. But I know that the art of improvisation has me thinking faster. It has me working harder. It has me on the spot problem solving. It's a vital skill in the millions of toolbox as an actor. Andrew, I'm an actor who just happens to improvise. That's how I feel. And how I feel is everyone who, from an artistic, creative tip, needs to have a space to learn the skill and to play in the skill and to be in the skill. And if we don't have the space, people always joke, it's like, if you don't market your theater, you're doing improv in the wind. It's like inherit the wind. It's like you're doing improvisation in the wind. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if there isn't any space. And so be it. If I need to create it, then so be it. There needs to be more of us and more community. Not this competitive bullshit that, is IOs over here and impros over there. And, the pack is like, everyone come in and it's free, which is the most community that we've had. We need to be more community. I swear to God, guys, I told Miles and also Royce, who happens to also be on the board of the Ledge.
We love Royce.
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah.
He a hustler. I love that brother. I love that hustling brother. I love his email trail of, I'm the associate director of this, and I run that, and I run this, and I own the theater, and I run the theater, and I dance and I sing. I love me some Royce. I told both Royce and because I consider us community. If something happens at the complex where the pack loses their space, you know what? There's room at the Ledge. We'll share the fucking space because we're community. And the pack has a lush, wonderful, crazy ass community of which I love.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
I think that's the thing that I miss the most, having improv bubbles burst in that way, is the gathering space and the community. Mm-hmm. Because you still have individuals and we can still kind of geek out about improv like I do with these guys, but there's something very special about not just seeing your best friends in the art form, but also just seeing I don't know. Well, I think it's so good for your mental health, and it's just so. I think beautiful.
So too. So here's the thing, Miss A. This is something that we used to do before before all of us hung out at bars, to have that community. Anybody. This is why I have early Thanksgivings, where every improviser I know comes over here and we eat, and we smack down. My favorite, Who brought the sausage roll? Basically, I had 2 turkeys, and everyone from the pack was here. I mean, it was just Dave Chow, Dave C. brought the sausage roll. So all of us are just chowing down. We need now that, and then the pandemic hit, and it was harder.
Yeah,
it was more difficult for us to go and gather. Obviously, unless we're in a square box where you can't see our legs, But that's changing now. But for all purposes, we don't have that space. So the thing is, when you don't have the space, when we lose our physical space, we create another space. And whether it be, we do a show someplace, and we can't go to a bar, find the closest house. Black folks have been doing it for decades. We used to call them rent parties. And then the 80s hit, we used to call them house parties, where you get 300 brothers and sisters in one room. And we're just all like doing kind of a, like the Errol Flynn. We used to call it the Errol Flynn, like 800 people in a room. We make that space. So somebody needs to take charge. I'm not going to live forever. I mean, I'll keep doing it until, I drop. But somebody needs to take that charge of creating that open, welcome, and unlike the 90s, that safe space where everyone can be, have a drink, have a nosh, and hang out and talk some bullshit. Do your bits there. Y'all call them bits. Back in the day, us Black folks back in the 60s and 70s, we call them the numbers. Your mama's so your mama's so big. Her welcome, she's so ugly. How ugly is she? Well, she has a welcome mat. And it doesn't say welcome, it just says, well. We just do numbers on each other. So we find that space where we're joking with each other, we're laughing with each other, we're finding our bits, we're finding the things that make it relevant. And then we don't bring our bits on stage because that's hack. You go and take those moments and make real truth and comedy. The reason why Hans and I do so we can literally just do a show in 10 minutes because we have shared experiences that will always be funny, wrapped in a nice little tasty package of beat scat at the top, beat scat at the end, and story time somewhere in the middle.
I want a shirt that says "Don't bring your bits on stage." That's hack.
That's hack.
I'd wear that. I will wear that. I will wear that. Like a little
would you like me to
billboard.
make it on Cafe Press? I'll put it in.
Yeah, dude. I will buy that shirt.
You buy that?
Yeah, I would.
Link
Bring
in
your bits
bio.
on stage. That's hack.
Yeah.
I'll just make it for you. I'll just make it for you, and then I'll go. And that's your Christmas present. Don't do bits. That shit's hack.
That shit's hack, man.
Yeah. That's so
there
great.
it is, man.
So Shaun, what can our listeners do to specifically help the Ledge Theater, and then maybe B, help the cause of a more inclusive, safer comedy world?
Everyone who's listening, who would like to go and have this cause go for it, especially our arts and educational programming for youth. They can get on Ledge Theater, Englishway.org. And there's a million ways to give. Network for Good, PayPal Giving Fund. You can literally get on PayPal, PayPal Smile. Oh, no, Amazon Smile. And you can literally start buying your crap off of Amazon, that $500 thing that you thought you didn't need. And you can go and give to the Ledge Theater. We're on Amazon.
No way. That's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you can literally set it up if you get onto Microsoft and you start cruising outside of Chrome. You can go and literally give to the Ledge Theater. We're on Microsoft Edge. So you can go and keep giving that way. Also, you can give on Facebook. Onto our Facebook wall, you can hit donate. Goes directly to Network for Good, which is the major funding for all social media platforms. If you get onto TikTok and you reset your donation, you can find the Ledge. So there's a million, because we don't fool around here. No, we don't fool around here. We're the most organized nonprofit you can find. It's all about the PBS funding. You can get onto our website and buy some merch, shoes. I don't like the t-shirts, honestly, but the shoes are kind of kick ass. I actually have a pair. I bought a pair. Yeah, it has like two Ledge thing. It's quiet. It's underrated, understated. So if I start my own improv ensemble with the Ledge, they can wear the shoes. You can barely see it. You can wear anything the hell you want. Just don't have a big Ledge Theater on your shirt. Like your children at a camp. So it's so weird. But there's a million different ways of doing it. And the other question, what was the second toggle of that?
Just what can people do to help create a more inclusive and safe comedy space, since that's something that definitely needs to work?
Keep your mindset to this. Care about other people. Care about other people. It's really difficult we're coming up to an election that I'm so afraid. Just know that care about each other. Care about each other. What I used to say this, I used to say it a long time ago, which is treat other people the way you wish to be treated yourself. Then I realized some people like to be treated like assholes. So treat people the way you wish the world would be in general. Something good, something wonderful right away, something inclusive and diverse. If you look at someone and you immediately say, I don't think they're going to play well because they're Latino, then you get out of improv. Get out of improvisation. Well, I don't know if her talking points are going to be just completely about being a lesbian. Get out of improvisation. If you don't know how to change the pronouns correctly to make someone feel comfortable, get the fuck out.
Yeah, get out of theater too.
Get out of theater. We are theater.
Yeah.
Improv is theater. Just get out. Get out. Start a knitting circle with QAnon. Just get out. Be able to empathize. Be able to be funny while punching up. You know who the bad guys are. Those are the ones you go for. I say it for people who, when I teach, if you're going to play a bad guy, play it big. Don't shy away from the bad guy. We need to see the bad guy.
Yeah. Every story needs a good bad guy. Yeah.
A good story needs a good bad guy, and always know, like Popeye, like Charlie Chaplin, the bad Ludo, and every character that made fun of the little tramp, they always got their comeuppance, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They always got their comeuppance. Let's go back to that. I'm tired of mean girls now.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the mean girl thing. I'm tired of shock jocks. I'm tired, with all the due respect to them. I'm tired of shows like Tim and Eric. I'm tired of these shows. I uphold Abbott Elementary. It's funny, it's smart, it's witty, it's diverse. We need more of that in improvisation. Martin DeMott, they named a theater after him. He was my mentor. He was the one who taught me this. He used to say, your improv should be deeper than an ashtray. It needs to be deeper, and it can still be funny and biting, whether you're just walking on the moon, or you're doing social comedy on relationships, or you're talking about politics. Just be smarter and be kind. Know who the bad guy is. In the improv world, in our world as actors, who are you? Are you Popeye or are you Bluto? Which one are you? And if you're Bluto, you're going to take a fall. And by the way, get the fuck out. And that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah.
Well, when I first moved to LA, I did an internship for a comedy manager who managed big comedians like Sherry O'Terry, Tracy Morgan, big names.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Tracy. He didn't get right until something bad happened to him. Poor Tracy.
Yeah. And actually the manager talked about that. I won't get into that, but it was funny because I started a show at IO West, and when I did that, I didn't have time to do the internship anymore. So I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to continue with this internship. I got this improv show that I'm starting up, and it's going to take a lot of time and work. Right. And he said, well, I'll just give you one piece of advice. And that advice is be the best person on stage. And I feel like, yeah, that's a strain that, like, in a way I felt in Los Angeles. It's not about caring about the other person. It's about being
fight. Win.
Yeah, exactly. Win. It's just, I don't know if it's a sport culture of like, I need to be the best. I need to win the championship kind of a thing. I feel like I've been caught up in that at points in my life when I've been on stage in improv too. And I feel like that culture is very strong, but you're pointing at something that is just antithetical to that. Right. And so much more community-based and human-based and relationship-based, which is just so refreshing to hear.
And still be funny. Because somehow or another, humanity and empathy and kindness to humans somehow got etched out of comedy. Let's bring it back. Let's bring that back.
Amen.
can I get an amen up in here?
Amen.
Mhm. But and that's the thing. The thing is, and keep in mind, I've been living here in LA since, California in general since 2000, but moved up here to LA in 2009. And the first thing I said when I walked into IO West was, "Bring me the head of Queen Latifah," which I thought was hilarious because I knew everybody would compare me to her. And then cut to 3 years later when I was her body double, but of course. And she's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. She's a wonderful lady. But the thing is, it's always been competitive in Los Angeles because there's so many of us here. There's so many actors here doing voiceover and improv and sketch and dramatic work and. So it's gonna have be the best you can be. Now, in theory, I'm going to give you something. When I do short form, also, I love doing short form. It's very funny with comedy sports to me because I'm still on the back end of comedy sports, San Jose, and I love doing the do run. That's my Pavlov dog game. AEIOU Shaun. If you got that down, you pretty much have that pattern game down. But and same with theater sports too, unless they're doing genre work, which is a whole different style outside of theater sports. But when you're doing comedy sports, they say, support the other ensemble. So everyone looks good on stage. I came from this. I want to win. I want to win. I want to actually physically win. I got myself in that mindset for only one reason. In order to win, you need to be supportive. And you need to be community. And you need to go and support the other team on the other side. So I'm going to support the living shit out of everyone. And I'm going to lay back. Because if it means that my team wins for being the most supportive and caring, then good on us. Better theater. So there's nothing wrong with being competitive. It's just how that competitive transmogrifies itself into some crazy adrenaline ridden, testosterone nutty, all of a sudden, there's improvisers in the back room doing coke and just getting ready to go. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be the best on stage. The best. It's destructive.
I think that the thing that I like about clown and also being an actor is that, you do want to win, but it's also fun to be the loser. It's fun to be the loser in a scene. It's fun to be the loser in as a clown. And so you play to win, but also take pleasure in losing. Like there's not It really changed my mindset about competitiveness.
Clown work is so perfect in this example because I love clowning, and the thing is, who has higher status, who has lower status? There is nothing more fun than playing low status.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, the low status characters have the most fun, and there's nothing better when the comeuppance happens on the lower status character to the higher status character. Yes, I can play this all day long. Yes, darling. Yes, go and get me my iced tea. You're lovely. Really, you're not. But it is what it is, what it is. I can do this character all day long. But my favorite character is like, okay, whatever you need. Whatever you want, and then go, and then turning around, going, yeah, I'm smiling like I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun playing both status characters, but my joy is playing a low status character, and at the end of it, that comeuppance.
Yeah.
That character that beats Donald Trump character. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the fool character. He's the fool character in commedia or in clown work. He's the fool character. And you want the lower status character to win. Look at your Shakespeare. Look at your Shakespeare. You'll find a million lovely clown work ideas within Shakespeare too. So, and a little bit of Moliere too. So,
yeah. Yeah.
Nerd. Look at my big theater nerd pants on.
You're in good company.
You're in good company. Tosh just did a whole summer at a Shakespeare festival playing.
Which one? Oh my God, which one, Tosh?
I was at the Utah Shakespeare Festival.
Nice. You hear about the Oregon kerfuffles?
I've heard a little. I've heard from a few people who have been up there recently. So that's there's so much going on.
Security for the AD.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very. It's they're. It's crazy anytime somebody's like trying to change things
and make it different and new. There's gonna be the headbutt, right?
Yeah, and you got to be brave and
she's brave.
Have support,
and she's brave. That's sister I have so much pride in. Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing to hear and to see, because I think that the people at Utah Shakes, and I would tell them to their face, could be braver, and I think that there are some steps that they've taken, but there's need to take more.
Yeah, there's a lot more work to do.
Because most Shakespeare theater companies and festivals happen in places like Oregon and Utah and out in beautiful kind of pasture land. Mm-hmm. Have you talked to the Honolulu Shakespeare rep people? Mm-mm. Please do. I will hook you up with R. Kevin Garcia Doyle, who you should have on this show, by the way, who can talk your ear off because he actually was part of the Shakespeare Festival in Honolulu. Mm. He does things even online. My God, he did As You Like It as a cartoon in Zoom boxes. And it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. R. Kevin he's my friend. And so I will talk all day about him. I think almost every podcast I'm dropping his name because
I love that.
He's so talented. He also works at La Jardine in Honolulu. He's their theater teacher there. And he's kind of brilliant. He created a whole new universe of D&D. Oh, the guy is just brilliant.
Cool.
So y'all, first off, Stormchaser needs to have R. Kevin Garcia Doyle on their podcast. And secondly, Tosh, you need to talk to him about Honolulu, because he can talk your ear off about the whole Shakespeare crew out there. And also just nationally, because he was also one of the judges nationally for it too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to connect with him. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Love to have you. This is what I do. This is what I do. Great. I feed people. I connect people. We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
So I can't wait to do a show and then end up at one of your house parties.
I wanted to ask, what do you see as, maybe this is the same answer as you had before, but
I'll give them again.
Yeah, sure. What do you think are the main opportunities that the improv community has going forward? Or maybe asked a different way, what are problems that you have faced that would be good to maybe bring into the light even more than it is now?
The problems and issues, are you talking just nationally or just here in Los Angeles?
You could speak to here in Los Angeles, but also I feel like at large, because I feel like right now at large, improv is still kind of struggling to refine its identity as a larger community. So,
well, I think the major problems that need to be faced is getting people who started on Zoom in improv used to being in person. Because for the last 2 years, people started improv online.
Wow. I don't even think about that. That's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Hans and I started going back to the theater, it was, I called, my regular crew, usual suspects who have done, who a million shots in, masks on, going out. We're going back out. We're tired of Zoom. But people who are on Zoom is like, I don't want to be in person. I'm comfortable here in my home. Isn't this what improv is about? I think that's one of the major hurdles. Also, the major hurdle of getting people back into the theater as an audience. Having people be comfortable with being in smaller spaces with little to no air conditioning, if you're lucky, and being around people laughing without masks on. So there's still the fear there. So I think what we need to combat that is to have our spaces, the ones that are still open, safe, to assure the public that they're safe, to assure them that it's going to be okay. If you do not feel comfortable without having a mask on, we have them at the front with hand sanitizer, because we're a community, but with every community, everyone's different. We're all different people who have different viewpoints, some very good, some not very good. Everybody's just still getting their bearings. You know, this is the end of 2022. People are still getting worried. Then the flu comes along, the whole 9 yards. At this point, it's all about health. Those are the major obstacles right now. And people who have learned improv on Zoom, who are afraid to come out of Zoom.
Yeah. Wow.
They're used to being comfortable in their home, doing the wacky make-em-ups on their bums.
I mean, it seems like the same or an adjacent problem that improvisers face early on is just getting used to discomfort.
Year.
Yeah,
same
it's like
shit, different year.
Different vehicle for the same. I don't want to be uncomfortable and I don't want to have to be brave. It's too scary.
Yeah. This is, it's the comfort of. So the idea is breaking people out of that comfort zone. The class that I'm doing right now at the PAC, there is one very funny woman who was like, this is the first time I've ever been in person in a class.
Wow.
And I just went, oh, I'm glad. She goes, I came to you because I was in a Zoom class with you. So everybody's getting used to being live again. That's one of the major hurdles. The second major hurdle is a physical space. This is just business. Even though the rents and buying a space in Los Angeles is actually going down, the spaces have to come down in rent for people to get interested in reinvesting in theater, where, at least in my case, because we're nonprofit and because we can actually say, we can actually go and look for a space and say we're nonprofit and actually get that space given to us or raise that money to do that. For a nonprofit LLC, it's a little harder. It's a little harder to come up with that investment capital to go and start a business. This is just the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah.
This is the stuff most actors don't know about.
Yeah. Well,
we just
congrats on making it happen though. That's it's very cool.
Andrew left. He went away.
I'm sure he's still there.
Maybe his camera died.
Okay. Did you know his microphone's on?
Oh no, he is gone.
Oh,
well,
no.
I feel like we're getting pretty close to. We don't want to keep you all night. I always hate the part where it's like time to wrap up because literally.
Well, I have what is in the kitchen now is sausage and peppers.
Yeah.
With pierogies, with fresh basil because I grow it in there. This is why you need to come over because everybody eats with. You come to my house. That's why I wanted to have it here. We just have all our blue mics.
I love it.
That would be so fun. That would be so fun. Next time, Tosh is out of town right now, so next time we're all in town, we'll have to get you back on again, and we'll all just have a big party.
We just pull out the blue mics, go and plug everybody into one system, and then we just do this.
I love it.
I'm in. Well, you've been on our list for a really long time. We're so glad.
Yeah,
we're finally
thank you
able to
so
connect
much.
with you.
You're so welcome.
We're so excited.
I can't wait to hear it. Yeah. I can't wait to hear it on Apple.
Hey, we're gonna listen on Apple.
Everybody listen on Apple.
Yeah, everyone listen on Apple.
And for anybody who wants to know about the Ledge shows that are coming up, we have all Latino ensemble with some of the Funez's, Fernando's crew coming in.
Yeah, another great guy.
He's
Fernando.
amazing.
Yeah,
Fernando, an amazing improviser, an amazing writer. So some of Fernando's crew's coming in. Of course, Downtown Menagerie, which is I love. Some amazing crew coming out of that. I want to go and get Frangela back in, which is Angela Shelton, Frances Collier. Those are my girls. Because old Black women, let's just do this.
The lineups are always A+ at the Ledge. Every time I see a new show, I'm like, man, this is just such a great selection of people.
we try very hard, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not book. Again, hands off. Hands off. I have someone who books, and you probably know who he is.
Yeah, we love Ryan too.
Yeah, we love Ryan.
Because it's the verge. You have to have at least one white guy doing
That's
something.
right. And if you're gonna have one white guy, Ryan's the
Ryan's
one.
the great
Ryan's
guy.
guy's the white
Ryan
guy.
is the one.
Yeah, he's the white guy. He is the most amazing. He came, him and Hans came. I did a pitch with Black Girl Ventures, BGV. We ended up getting $9,000, which is great, which will help us run through, which is great. And I called it a bringer show. BGV was a bringer show. It was just like, and I only brought 2 people, and they were both white. And just a bunch of sisters out there, and Hans and Ryan ended up helping people set up stuff, because that's what my crew does. Even with 2 people in the house, everyone was just like, my slides weren't working. Just everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But it was Ryan. My clicker wasn't working because they didn't change slides. So I just started doing a 1970s elementary school thing for the tech person. So I basically just pointed a mime clicker and just went, boop.
Yes.
So I was doing that literally through my entire pitch. I get off stage. I'm spinning as an actor in my own living hell. I'm just like, Omaze is there. PayPal is there. Goddamn. It's just like, I want to be on Omaze. And I'm just like, not after that bullshit. Oh no. And I get off stage. I'm just miserable as hell. I start drinking good wine, because Black folks know how to drink a good wine. And Ryan walks up to me, and I'm like, I'm in hell. And Ryan Hitchcock literally looked at me and he goes, Shaun, you're amazing. And I said, I didn't feel it. He goes, everyone loved you.
Yeah.
Because you covered their asses for fucking up your tech.
It's really funny.
And then Ryan was like, the moment they screwed up your slides, the moment I knew you owned this room.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's Ryan Hitchcock.
Bless Ryan. He's
that
so
Willy.
great.
I compare everybody I know to somebody else. He's Willy Wonka.
It's Willy Wonka. That's very true.
Perfect.
I lived with Ryan for a hot second during lockdown, and he would just knock on me and my fiance at the time's door and be like, do you guys want a cocktail? And then he'd like make us the most fancy cocktail and put it in like, he has these really cool glasses and then be like, you guys want to watch a movie? And like, I kind of felt like he was like hosting our evenings. Like that's just like what he was like the host that evening. The sweetest man. Love him so much.
The first, when we were still doing our shows here with the seniors improv comedy, there were very few people who I asked to actually, when the pandemic started loosening up, I got a hold of Ryan. I said, Ryan, want to come over to the house and do the seniors, and we'll just run through the house and pretend this is an entire set. It was the funniest show we did.
Oh,
yes.
And basically our OBS person in Austin is literally following Ryan, who's running from the dining room, running around into this living room. It was, it's online. Okay. Because I gave him an internet movie. Everybody who was on the show got an internet movie database credit. Because
nice.
Our Zoom did not look like Zoom. Our Zoom looked like, a low end, 2-camera comedy.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
You're a real force, and I'm so happy to have heard your stories and get your advice, and I can't wait to support your theater more. And
you all need to come to the theater. Just walk in. You're all comped. You are.
Absolutely not. We're getting those tickets.
Yeah, come on.
We're supporting that cause for sure.
Well, either that or, you can do something wacky like, I don't know, schedule you or something.
We would.
The only reason you have me on this show is so you can
we're just trying to get that. We're just trying to get that spot. We're just trying to get that spot.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't. No, it doesn't take much. The only thing you have to do is ask.
We'll do that.
And www.ledgetheater.org for everybody who wishes to donate. For all you rich people who are listening on this podcast, please give us money so we can find a home of our own. As much as I love Skip Town Playhouse, gosh, it would be nice to have an ADR theater friendly space.
Yeah. And just to echo what you said earlier, improv really is such a beautiful art form. And,
Yes.
you know, it's the reason why I think we all started this podcast and we're still performing after forming so long ago at this point.
Mhm.
And it does give people tools that are hard to find sometimes being taught, I think, in the real world. So I'm
Right.
just
And practical tools, presentation skills, literally on the spot thinking, problem solving. That's where it's helpful. And also it can be meaningful and powerful and can change minds.
Yes. I feel like people forget that sometimes when they're doing improv and they think it all just needs to be wacky, like you said, shock
zany,
jock.
caca, poo poo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You can't change the world with caca, poo poo. I mean, you can get out of your system and be healthier, but that doesn't count.
Okay,
I'll buy that shirt.
We have
if you
2
make it on
t-shirt
the
ideas. You can't change the world with caca poo poo. Absolutely. Sean, thank you so much. You're such a joy, such a wonderful person. We're so happy for you. And
Thank you.
We're gonna watch the Ledge Theater very closely because we're very excited.
So am I.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Stormchaser Improv Podcast Show.
You can find us on all of the socials. That's right, the social media programs. We're on Instagram and TikTok at Stormchaser Improv. We've also got videos on YouTube. Just search for us at Stormchaser Improv. We've got shows. We've also got clips from our podcast. And you can find all the other links that we have to get tickets to our shows and find other projects that we're working on at the link in our bio on Instagram.
And of course, my friends, if you enjoyed this podcast, push all the buttons, share it, like it, subscribe to it. And if you're listening on iTunes, give us a little 5-star review. That would be fantastic.
This is my friend, Travis Lincoln Cox.
This is my friend, Andrew Pish.
And this is my friend, Anatasha Blakely. Thank you so much for listening. See y'all again soon.
Thank you for listening to the Stormchaser Improv Podcast Show.